Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto. We have a lot of stuff to unpack today. I didn't have a chance to do my normal Sunday roundup. I apologize. I was not feeling well. Um, Actually, this is my real voice. so normally I raise it up about an octave so I can people can hear me better because normally it comes out really really low. So that's kind of a big deal. Um, let's get into what my outlook is going to be. My outlook is for consolidation and acquisition. Okay. The reason why I'm looking at that is because I think that there are a number of exchanges. Look at Bithumb talking with FTX to get bought. You're going to see more of that as you start realizing that there are companies out there that aren't doing so great, and now could be an opportunity for those that have money to actually scoop up some acquisitions, as well as merge some services and pick up staff that they actually need, as opposed to doing normal one by one hiring. You can pick up a company on the cheapy, fully round out your business and keep it moving. Something else that I'm looking out for as we go forward is any kind of fraud that's coming out of the Celsius data breach. Now, Celsius didn't have the breach. Customer.io, who handles the communications, had the data breach, and it's the same data breach that affected OpenSea. But then they came around and said, yeah, oh yeah, by the way, your data was affected too. So that's in no way good for Celsius, and it's just another drop of salt on the wound. But it's something to pay attention to because you figure there's a lot of data there that could lead to some really convincing phishing attacks. So if I'm you, be very careful if you had any dealings with Celsius, that you could wind up getting hit with some phishing attacks that would seem really really slick. Gary Gensler, again, this guy just gets on my last nerve. And the reason why is because he's not, instead of taking the time to actually create regulation or policies that would actually help the general public in managing their digital assets, all he wants to do is do a land grab or do a power grab in the space. And he's saying, well, crypto exchanges should be treated just like regular exchanges. That's a broad stroke kind of approach to things, and I think he's trying to stead off the idea that the CFTC would manage most crypto things. I think the two agencies need to get together and decide what cryptos are securities, what cryptos are commodities, and move on from there. Excuse me. So that's something to really pay attention to. I think Buddy Boy needs to go away. I think his mindset is just wrong for his position. He's a really smart guy. I can truly appreciate that, but he seems to just be making all the wrong moves. Really making the wrong moves. I mean, look at the case against Ripple. That case should have been dropped a long time ago. But now he wants to continuously waste taxpayers' money to go after Ripple for something that when you look at Ethereum, he has said, well, the agency has already said that Ethereum is a commodity. Well, same technology, same approach, blah, 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 blah. How are you going off after only Ripple? Seems like there's a lot of insider stuff going on over there, and that's what makes it annoying. But for me, I just think that him and his henchmen need to take a step back, take many seats, and be replaced. I think there are a lot of people out there that could probably do a much better job and actually help the general public in that regard. Right now, it's kind of like, oh, it got out of hand and we don't know what to do and we just want to hammer on everybody. It's going to come back to bite you in the butt. Seriously, I really think it is. Polygon with more good news. They're working with Mercedes-Benz to create this new data sharing platform. That's big news in a major fashion because it's yet another automaker, a possessor of great data knowledge that's creating a data platform, but it's another automaker getting into the space using the higher technology to do a better job for themselves. But it's also great news for Polygon because it's yet more good news in a string of good news for Polygon. So I think that Polygon is on an upward trend, an upward tick, as you keep looking at more and more and more good news. And it's just a matter of time before it busts through that $1 ceiling that it's hitting up against right now. I think that's something to pay attention to as you move forward. Anyway, I would also like to point out some really cool things. So Miami has partnered with Time, Mastercard, and Salesforce because they're going to launch 5,000 NFTs created by 36 artists that are all local to Miami. And the artwork there is meant to demonstrate the diversity of Miami. Hat tip to that mayor. As a matter of fact, let me get his name. Mayor Francis X. Suarez. Hat tip to that dude. Why? Because that mayor is paying attention to how to market his city, how to earn money for his city, make his city relevant in the coming future, and doing something really cool, not just for his city, but pointing out how he's looking at these 36 artists and saying, or how the city is looking at these 36 artists and saying, yes, go do something. Go forth and do something for us for the betterment of our city. That's big. I think that's really, really cool. How Time is involved, how Mastercard is involved, how Salesforce is involved. I haven't gotten into those details yet, but just look at that combination of companies and what they do. Now, take that and carry it forward to other opportunities where that could happen. New York City, I hope you're listening, because could be a good idea for New York City. Just saying. There's a lot of history here, good and bad. Just saying. Santander, not to be outdone by XP in Brazil, XP Inc. in Brazil. Santander is a big bank. Part of a big bank, big banking conglomerate. Not as big as other banks, but, nice size, internationally known. That's funny. I was just thinking about this hip hop line, internationally known to rock the microphone. Anyway, they're actually going to launch crypto services in Brazil. And that's actually a very big deal because it's, again, a bank, a traditional financial firm or institution that's recognizing crypto adoption and saying we had better be a part of this than against it. Mind you, just keep in mind, as crypto adoption grows, banking decreases. That's right, because if you're holding your money in crypto, you don't need a bank. As more businesses move to accept crypto, you don't need a bank. You don't need fiat. So if you walk into a store and they accept crypto, I don't need cash. I have crypto. I'll pull out my wallet and bink and walk out. That's what's up. That's a very big deal. So if I'm looking at, Santander getting into the space, that's a good move for them. It really is a good move for them. I would like to see how they would be affected by off-ramping. Off-ramping, so on-ramping is the idea of taking money and transferring it into crypto, right? And off-ramping would be the opposite, moving from crypto to fiat. Right now, I think there are only two companies that do that. There's something about that space. It's going to explode because the whole idea is decentralized finance. So right now, centralized exchanges allow you to on-ramp and off-ramp fiat. If there's a way for you to off-ramp fiat without a centralized exchange, and there are a couple out there, like I said, that's going to be a big deal. I think that's going to be a burgeoning market. I think that's going to be a burgeoning space. But again, that's a centralized kind of thing. I'm looking for what the decentralized offerings would be, and that's going to be very interesting. Or at least the offerings from companies that are supporting the decentralized space. Excuse me. Chainalysis has a report out that says, and the name of the report, and I'll even read my notes, the State of Cryptocurrency Investigation. And what they're pointing out is most public agencies in the United States, and pretty much worldwide, are feeling understaffed, undergunned, undercapable, or incapable, not totally incapable, but underprepared to investigate crimes involving digital assets. That's a very big deal. If you think back into when the internet was born, you got a lot of, as you went into Web 2.0, you had an uptick in cybercrime, right? E-commerce, fake e-commerce, all these things started happening, and you sit there and you kind of go, whoa, that's a big deal. That's a major league big deal. One of the reasons why it's such a big deal is because police agencies don't have the right people to investigate. Hence, you have companies like Chainalysis and PeckShield and the rest of them that can offer these services to, those investigations. And you sit there and you kind of say, wow, that's going to be a burgeoning market. Yep. In a major fashion, in a major, major, major fashion. There's going to have to be more. So you're going to see an uptick in cyber crimes. You're going to see an uptick in digital asset crimes. You're going to see that uptick. I mean, I just pointed out how Celsius had their data exposed. So you sit there and you kind of go, wow, phishing attacks are going to take off and it's going to be ridiculous. Yes, which means that if you're involved in crypto, you need to be more educated than ever before. Pay attention. Know what a phishing attack looks like. Stop clicking links all over the place. And verify whatever's sent to you. Seriously, don't open up any file that's sent to you when it's coming from somebody you don't know, because you're most likely unleashing malware on your system that could steal your assets. Pay attention. Pay big attention to this. Okay, please. Looking at the numbers, things have come down a little bit. Not just a little bit, they've come down, a tad, and it's something to pay attention to. Let me just give this a quick refresh. Boom. So yeah, you do have more losers than winners, but not by much, right? Because my 5% rule, and here you are down at 6. And let's see who's being not so good today, that, who I recognize. Ethereum Classic getting a bump because of Ethereum's merge, but they've been on an uptick as of late. So that 9% drop, I think it's just an opportunity if that's what you're playing with. Ethereum name service, I think that's just an opportunity if you're playing with it. Ethereum name service, yeah, do your research. It's part of the whole marketing thing for Web3, having a domain in the Web3 space, all that good stuff. So if you want it to be blah blah blah.eth or eddyj.eth, that would be me. You want to pay attention to that because this is a space where it's going to grow. So to me, Ethereum name service is going to wind up growing. So perhaps just an opportunity to purchase if that's a coin that you want to purchase. Uniswap down 8%. To me, again, opportunity. It's a sale price. Anybody else I'm paying attention to? Aave is down 7%. Okay. Don't pay attention. I'm not paying attention to Secret. Who's up? This is crazy right here, right? These are things that I don't plan on looking at or touching at all. Chili's is up 11%. Not a bad move. Cadena is up 5%. Like I said, my 5% rule, up or down 5%. I'm not really paying attention. You've got to be above. So that's pretty much where that one is. Let's take a look at DeFi Llama. Now, I had just refreshed this page about 10 minutes ago. So it went from 89 down to 87 in terms of TVL. Not worried about it because I think there's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines right now that would normally be in total value locked. There are reports that it's around 140 billion. Not worried about that. Not worried about it at all. At all. Waiting for it to happen. I think it's going to happen. It'll be a matter of time, and I think it'll happen before the end of the year. Looking at how Polygon has dropped down a bit. There you go. Just wanted to move it over. And you can see how Polygon is doing, how Ethereum is doing, how Bitcoin is doing, right? You can just tell by where my crosshair is, which is where my mouse is on this particular screen. My mouse does not show, so I try to explain it to you. So over on the right-hand side, I'm just looking at, the ups and downs of Polygon. I bought Polygon as it dipped down to like 90 cents, 89 cents. And the reason why is because I'm expecting it to bust through $1 sooner or later. Sooner rather than later. That's what I'm expecting. So I bought in. I constantly DCA. Constantly. I'm also staking Polygon through polygon.technology. Just go to that website. It is a part of Polygon. Their validators and everything else. So I'm paying attention to that. Mind you, validators make far less money than miners. So the validators that are there now that are upholding Polygon, remember, there's going to be a drop in how much validators make, or there is a drop in how much validators make versus miners. It's about a 10 times drop. So they'll be making 10% of what miners make. Still paying more than a freaking bank. So if you're doing stocks, bonds, all that good stuff, to me, this is like holding cash and making real interest on your cash. Again, why do I have a bank account? Very few things are going to, in the future, very few things are actually going to be done by banks. Banks will still be around, but it'll be very few services that you can't get done outside of a bank that you would normally have done in a bank. So there's change afoot. There's serious change afoot. Just waiting for this screen to you know what? I'll just hit refresh. While we wait for that puppy to refresh, we'll just look at the list over here. Yeah, you know, like I said, 90 cents. I'll probably dip in again, right? It's down to me. That's a great price. I think that Polygon's going to wind up going up. One more piece of good news, and it's going to scream through, you know, that dollar mark. And truthfully, I think by the end of next year, you really could be looking at Polygon hitting close to $10. In my humble opinion, I'm not an advisor or anything like that, but these are my bets based on the news that's dropped and some of that news being able to carry forward and being news that can keep giving over time. That's going to be a big deal. That's going to be a very, very, very big deal. So that's what I pay attention to at this moment. I can't believe this screen still hasn't. There you go. Finally, Lord of mercy. Look at Ethereum at 1,600. Ethereum seems to just be taking off. And I keep telling people, pay attention, because September 9th is supposed to be the date of the merge. That's going to be huge. That will be huge for the merge. Looking at others, a lot of things are in you know, not such a good state in terms of the numbers. But remember what you're looking at. You're looking at a new band that, you know, these numbers are trading by. Remember, I told you a couple of weeks ago, or not even that long ago, that I'm looking for Bitcoin to be above 22,000 for an extended period of time. Guess what? It's been an extended period of time. So the longer that you're hovering up above 22,000, the longer or the less likely that we are to go down. We might have already seen that bottom. Maybe. Can we see that bottom again? Of course. Of course. Bad things can happen, of course. But I think if you're thinking about the contagion, I think most of that has happened already. I think most of that has been factored in already. But anything can happen in the cryptoverse. Pay attention. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. If you like what I'm doing, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and absolutely hit the notification bell so you know when I'm dropping a new video. Have a great day.